Imagine you are the queen of the world. The blood of kings runs in your veins. The law says the crown is yours, but you are standing in a room with no light. For 46 years, Juana of Castile did not see the sun. She did not sign a decree. She did not speak to her people. She was erased by the three men she loved most. History calls her Juana the Mad, but the letters hidden in the archives tell a different story. They tell the story of a woman who wasn't locked away because she lost her mind. She was locked away because she refused to give up her power. To understand the tragedy of Juana, we must step back to the turn of the 16th century. This was the golden age of Spain, an era of conquest, gold, and absolute Catholic power. Juana was the daughter of the famous Catholic monarchs, Ferdinand and Isabella. She was never meant to be queen. She was the third child, a pawn to be married off to secure an alliance. But Juana was different. While her sisters were pious and obedient, Juana was brilliant. She was a prodigy. She mastered Latin, French, and law. She played 3 instruments. She was also skeptical. Historical records suggest she asked too many questions about religion. She didn't blindly obey the church. In the Spanish court, a quiet woman was a virtuous woman. A questioning woman was a problem. At 16, she was sent to Flanders to marry Philip, the Duke of Burgundy. And when a series of tragic deaths in her family suddenly made her the heir to the Spanish throne, the trap was set. When her mother Isabella died in 1504, Juana became the Queen of Castile. Not her husband, her. The court expected a puppet. They expected her to hand the crown to her husband, Philip the Handsome. But Juana surprised them. She attempted to govern. She attended meetings of the Cortes. She blocked her husband's attempts to appoint his corrupt friends to Spanish offices. She recognized that her husband was a foreigner who viewed Spain as a piggy bank to be looted. Philip was furious. He wrote letters complaining that his wife was difficult and stubborn. In the 1500s, a woman who refused to submit to her husband wasn't seen as strong. She was seen as unnatural. She had the intelligence to rule, but she lacked the one thing that mattered: allies. She was surrounded by men who needed her silence to gain her power. The conspiracy against Juana is one of the most chilling in history because it was a family affair. It was the Unholy Trinity. First, her husband Philip. He wanted to rule alone. He began spreading rumors that Juana was hysterical whenever she got angry at his public affairs. Second, her father, King Ferdinand. He didn't want to lose control of the kingdom he had built. When Philip suddenly died of a fever in 1506, Juana was heartbroken. Her grief was real, but her father and the court weaponized it. They spun a tale that became a legend, that she was so mad with grief that she opened her coffin every night to kiss his decaying corpse. Modern historians now believe she was simply moving the body to Granada for burial, traveling at night to avoid political ambushes. But the lie traveled faster than the truth. Ferdinand seized the regency. He declared her unfit to govern. He didn't execute her. He did something worse. In 1509, her father locked her in the royal palace of Tordesillas. It sounds grand, but for Juana, it was a dungeon. She was 30 years old. She would stay there for the next 46 years. Her jailers were ordered to keep her isolated. No news of the outside world. No letters. When she refused to attend Mass, they tortured her. Years later, her father died. the crown passed to her son, Charles V. This was her chance for freedom, her own flesh and blood. But Charles realized something terrifying. If his mother was sane, he was not the emperor. He was just a son of the queen. To keep his crown, his mother had to remain the Mad Woman. He tightened her security. He ordered that she be seen by no one. But the truth almost escaped in 1520. The Comuneros' revolt broke out against her son, Charles. Rebels stormed Tordesillas and liberated the queen. For the first time in a decade, Juana spoke to the public. The rebel leaders were shocked. They didn't find the raving lunatic. They found a lucid, eloquent, and intelligent woman who described her imprisonment in horrific detail. The rebels begged her, "Sign this document. Depose your son, take back your throne." But Juana refused. She would not wage war against her own son. Her integrity was her undoing. The rebellion was crushed. The doors of Tordesillas slammed shut again. This time, forever. If you believe stories like Juana's deserve to be remembered, please subscribe and like this video. It helps us find the others who were erased. Juana died on Good Friday, 1555. She was 75 years old. She is buried in Granada beside the husband who betrayed her and the parents who abandoned her. History remembers her as Juana la Loca. It is a convenient nickname. It is easier to call a woman crazy than to admit she was inconvenient. She was the queen of an empire on which the sun never set. Yes, she lived her life in the dark. But in the archives, on the few letters that survived, she signed her name with a title they could never take away. Yo, la reina. I, the queen.